Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but I guess we're going to get started here right now. I'd like to review and approve the minutes of our meeting of December the 13th. What is your pleasure, gang?
I would move they be approved. I would move they be approved as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? Okay, motion carried. Now we got a presentation from Petco.
Hi, everybody. I don't need to stand, do I? My good sitting okay. My name is Jennifer Russum. I'm with Pepco Energy Services. We are what you hear sometimes referred to as an energy service company. We go throughout the country performing energy and water efficiency upgrades for housing authorities that also need infrastructure upgrades. I myself hail from Maryland. Our company is based out of Arlington, Virginia. Now, I believe you've heard some inklings throughout the past few months of this process of HUD's Energy Performance Contracting Program. This is a program that typically helps larger housing authorities reduce their utility consumption and make upgrades, but we specialize in working with smaller housing authorities like Brattleboro specifically. For what I understand, Chris, you want me just to give a review of what we are planning on making infrastructure upgrades here too? Okay. One of the nice things about this program is that you get all of these upgrades throughout your authority, and the savings pays for them. And as an energy service company, we guarantee 100% of whatever we say we're going to save you. And if not, we have to write you a check for that difference. So it's a great program, especially for smaller housing authorities. They don't have a lot of capital to make these upgrades. Normally, you wouldn't be able to go throughout your entire authority and replace all the lighting per se. This program, you can get a lot of what your needs are, your capital needs are done in one shot. At this authority, not just this location, but throughout the authority, we are replacing consistently throughout. We're replacing your lighting with more energy efficient lighting. We're replacing your aerators. We're putting in low flow faucet aerators and improving your shower heads. High efficiency water closets, or just a fancy name for toilets. Putting in lots of water efficient toilets. Front loading washing machines, which are much more energy efficient, along with, I know that may be a concern, front loaders. They're going to be raised up on pedestals. So they're easy access for your front loading washers. We're performing what's called building envelope improvements, which is also a fancy name for insulation and air sealing, or sealing around windows and doors. At this specific location, we're replacing your windows with high efficiency windows, as well as making sealing up around the windows to make them more energy efficient, so you don't have so much drafting in your windows. Also replacing your patio doors. We get nicer patio doors here at this location, and we're doing work in the vegetable area to make that more energy efficient. I understand there's lots of drafting issues downstairs in your lower level, so we're making it great improvements to that. Windows are really a high dollar item. They're capital intensive. They cost a lot of money, so it's nice we can wrap it into the program and get that upgrade for you without the authority having used their capital to do that. Replacing thermostats, and not at this location but at others, we're doing air source heat pumps and attic insulation. Now, I see some of you might have those binders there. I know you've read it cover to cover, haven't you? So I should be quizzing you. I just gave you a brief list of what we call the energy conservation measures, or ECMs for short. Everybody has their acronym list. Is there specific questions that you have, or would you like me to give you a rundown by site, exactly what we're doing at each site, how the program works, or is there anything?
I think you'd be better off giving a rundown.
Okay.
I just had a couple of questions. I think I know the answers already, but I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. So this specific location is something I know that you wanted to know, especially you folks, the residents, what we're doing. I talked about the windows, the patio doors we're making improvements to, also the drafting issues you may have within your actual units. We're trying to improve that as well. You'll have some glazing on your windows that'll keep out a lot of the heat in the summer. And again, that drafting issue will hopefully go away as much as possible. We're also improving that vestibule area, not vegetable. Lobby. Lobby. That's another fancy name.
Well, some of it's vegetables around here.
Replacing a lot of the lighting to make it more energy efficient. That is all of you probably know. Energy's so big in the news right now. It save a lot of money on lighting, so it helps pay for those window upgrades that we're making. We're replacing your just the aerators on your faucets, but a lot of you will be getting new shower heads.
We already have water-reducing flash products and faucets. And what about something about a heat pump?
Heat pump's not here. You won't be getting heat pumps here. That's at other sites, mainly the family sites where they'll be seeing heat pumps. Your toilets, we're going to give you toilets that don't clog, but save you even more water than the current toilets that you have in
We
here.
won't even be able to flush them.
No, you will. And we will bring you a toilet so you can see how these toilets work. We will have a trainer here, and I will be here along with our construction guys will be here, so you get to learn what their faces are, and they'll tell you all about what to expect. We'll bring samples. We're going to bring you a shower head sample and a toilet sample. Might not have that sample hooked up for that night, but we're going to have a sample for you. Sandy and the group have already tested out some of the toilets to make sure they work properly, as well as Dave, your maintenance guy, he's a picky fellow. So
You have a shower head.
yes, you do. We're going to give you a brand new one. And if you have a wand now, you're going to be getting another wand shower head again. Okay. So we'll show you those items. Resident training is and an energy awareness program is a big part of this program. We take it very seriously on having you guys know what to expect out of us and what you'll be getting. And we'll have a resident trainer here. His name is Max Bristol, really great guy. And we'll have probably a breakfast or evening dinner. We'll give you guys some food, and also he gives away prizes and things. It's fun. It turns out to be a fun event. And I'm getting off topic of what we're putting in here, but I want to make sure that you know too, our construction crew is very professional, and you'll be getting updates. You'll be getting hang tags on your doors, and we'll be keeping. Did you have a question? We'll be keeping you well informed of when we're coming.
When's this going to start?
Construction. Well, we're in the HUD review process right now.
Yeah.
These binders are off at HUD. It could take anywhere from 2 months. I've seen it take as long as a year. We hope it will not take that long. We hope to begin construction in April. Okay? We'll have a training event around that time too.
The windows,
Uh-huh.
how are you going to prevent the air from coming in? They're sliding windows, and a lot of the air comes between, there's a gap, a little gap in between windows.
And the current windows you have, they do.
Yeah.
The newer windows, they have air sealing built into those windows, and you're talking about the sliders specifically.
Yeah,
They have air sealing built into those windows, so they don't do that.
okay.
They're very high quality, high efficiency windows.
So you're going to replace our windows with your windows?
Yeah, well, not Pepco's windows, but yes.
Yeah.
Other manufacturers' windows that are very high quality, have very good air sealing, because if it doesn't air seal properly, we're not getting the energy savings that we need to help pay for the upgrades that we're having. So we make sure that everything is very energy efficient. In this case, airtight as well.
All right.
Okay? And if you do have issues, bring them up, and whatever is wrong with the window, we fix. Okay? Try and make it better. Yeah.
Now, are you people going to be upgrading the door downstairs?
Yes.
The door?
Lobby. The lobby area.
Yeah, well, the vegetable stand.
Vegetable, yes. We will be upgrading all of that and replacing the doors, and so you not have to so draft.
Now, what kind of doors are they planning on putting in?
Might be able to tell you exactly. Let's see.
The reason I'm asking is a lot of the residents here are in wheelchairs,
Oh yeah, you'll still have access.
and these doors that we have now, we have trouble getting through the doorway.
Is it sticking a bit, and things of that nature?
No, it's not sticking, but it's not wide enough for some of the chairs.
So you're
or,
looking
no.
for something wider.
Yeah, I'm awful afraid that glass is going to get taken out one of these times by a wheelchair.
I do not know about the size of the door that they were proposing, if they're looking to actually take down everything and replace it entirely. So that's something I could let Chris know, get back to her on that. Size of door.
Yeah, it's going to be wide enough for what is your chair?
Just barely fits it through.
What widths do you need?
Well,
I think around 30, about 36
where,
inches.
where are those? I haven't got a tape measure with me,
Yeah.
but I'd say probably 36 inches would be.
Okay. That's something we can look into. If we need measurements,
Sure.
maybe you guys someday can help us out.
Maybe a little
Okay.
bigger door.
I can ask that question.
I think it needs to be a clear opening of 36.
Clear.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else are we doing in here. We've got the wash machines. There's only about 3 wash machines that need replacing in here to more efficient, energy efficient wash machines. Sorry, I didn't see
Energy efficient wash machines.
Yes.
Are they going to be like the one that's already in there?
I'm not sure what you have in there already. I can't remember
Right.
offhand. We may be replacing the one that you're talking about. So,
If they come with the shaded glass, which I know is probably removable, do we have the shaded part removed and we just show the clear glass so we can see how much soap's in there, to see how much water that it's needed?
refresh my memory. Do you have a laundry service, do you own it?
We own it.
You own it, okay.
And we don't have instructions for that front loader because I believe it has 3 rinses in it, and people don't know it's got 3 rinses in it. And I don't know if it has a pre-wash because it empties after it fills up. After a minute or two, then it fills up again. So we don't even know if it's got a pre-wash, wash, and 3 rinses. There's no instructions on that machine, let alone any paper out there for us to read how to use it.
Okay, so that maybe could be something that we could provide to you during the resident training, have like a hang tag on there for you?
Yep.
Okay,
Something to give us that, what does it do after you put the stuff in, because we don't know what the cycle is. The other wash machines, they tell you, the top loaders, they tell you.
When you open up the doors.
You open up, it tells you the instructions, hot, cold water is this and this and this and whatever.
Okay,
But the other one doesn't tell you.
I will put that on my list.
Well, we can see if we can get that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Get some plastic hang tag.
Well, if we get the new ones, we want the same thing from the new ones.
Good question.
You got a question over here?
Yes.
Which are going to be the first? The windows, I think, were the most important that we should have. They go up and down. That way there, everybody will be satisfied.
Yes. Your construction phase is going to move very quickly because you're small, so you're going to see things done within probably a 4-month period really quick. The things that they're going to start with, the construction team is going to start with lighting and water upgrades. And the reason why is because that starts saving money the quickest. You save a lot of money with lighting and water upgrades.
We have a lot.
You're going to get even better, believe it or not. It's going to be even better. The authority's going to start seeing the savings for that, and that's going to help get those big daddy guys in. The windows might take a little bit longer. They're going to go before probably the HVAC that you'll see, or the heat pumps that'll be put in the other sites. You'll probably get windows before that, but that's going to be a big project. Putting in a window is not as easy as obviously replacing a light bulb or a shower mantle.
Oh, no, I know. They have to fit in and everything.
Yeah, there's something else I wanted to tell you too about the construction staff. You'll see Darren, and he'll have a on-site project manager. So anytime that we have any subcontractors in the case of lighting or water upgrades or window upgrades, you're going to see our guys with those subcontractors. And also the subcontractors are not only going to be required to wear the shirts, their polo shirts or a Oxford or what have you, that has the name of the subcontractor on it, they're also going to be required to wear a badge that identifies them as one of our contractors. And if they do not have that, do not let them in. and you can notify whomever at the authority that, you know, hey, some guy tried to get in here, he did not show me his badge. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable with these folks coming in. We're going to notify you well in advance of their arrival, a week in advance, and also we're going to put hang tag tags on your door to let them know within that 48-hour period as well. Okay, very important. We don't want you to let anybody in unless they're wearing that badge. And we'll show you what those badges look like at the resident training. Okay, we'll show you.
And Sandy will be the staff person that'll be overseeing that.
Yes.
Could I ask a question about the lighting? I'm assuming that this is compact fluorescent lighting?
Not all of it.
Not all of it.
In places like this, you have what we call linear T12s. We're replacing with linear T8s. So, and the ballast as well, which is where you plug it in. We're replacing the ballast as well, typically in a lot of spots. So it's not the screw in, looks like an ice cream cone light bulb typically. That would only be on, and I don't see any fixtures like that in here. Maybe wall sockets that would have a screw in. We most likely will not do lamps and things like that. That's not something that we consider part of it. It'd be like wall packs and things like that. And the lighting that they have in the residents have within there, say their lamp, their own personal lamp, we're not changing those at all.
So it's the major overhead lighting.
Major overhead lighting, any fixtures that the housing authority uses, those are the ones we're upgrading to more efficient.
Good question. The lighting is not going to go dimmer, is it, with the new fixtures?
Actually, believe it or not, when you go to a T8 as opposed to a T12, T12s are the fat tubes that look like that. They're 1.5 inches in diameter.
Right.
When you go to a T8, they're only 1 inch in diameter. There's something, they produce higher light output per linear foot. They produce, and it's called lumen level. They have a higher lumen level, so you might get, it might even be brighter for you in many
I
instances.
prefer a lot brighter.
They're not going to look very much different from what you're now.
Oh, you won't even know.
Well,
Maybe they'll be a little bit brighter, but you
I
won't
would
really
rather
know.
have brighter because the lights we have are too dim. And I complain about that. The lights are just too dim.
And we won't be de-lamping, which means we won't be taking out any of these fixtures.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Like if they come out and say, well, who do you go and see?
It would still be the housing authority.
Oh.
We're going to provide them with some stock, you know, after we're all done construction. Here you go, and you'll have that in stock to make those replacements. It's nothing super high tech and fancy. It's very, very.
The color temperature of the lights, will they be closer to daylight rather than the rather blue fluorescent?
The blue fluorescent is actually what the CRI, or color rendition index, when it's bluer, it's supposed to be closer to daylight. When it's yellower, it's supposed to be what they call warmer. I don't know the CRI. People will find it here now. I don't think it's
78
in here.
minimum.
What's that?
78
The well, the Kelvin, they measure.
4,100 minimum.
You know, and I don't, that's, I don't know. It's not my bag of tricks here.
I was just going to say, right.
All I'm
Please, Tom.
concerned about is the
You like-
comfort of people in
That was
looking
what
at
we-
colors and so forth.
You know, and I mix them in my bathroom. I have warm and cool because it all, you know, I like to mix it up, but because it depends on the person. I know there's been lots of studies out there about children in schools and how they do better with the more daylight bulb, the higher CRI index. Typically in residential applications, it's not a concern. In fact, there's more of a concern with over lighting the space. Because if you're in this is not a very lit space, but if you're in an overly lit space and you hold your hand above your head for just like a minute, and if you notice that your eyes go immediately up, you're looking up, that's an overlit space. It's drawing your eyes upward, and that's why there's a lot of talk about that in schools. Residential applications haven't been studied as much.
They're going to look much like this.
What's that?
They're going to look much like this.
It's going to be a lot like this, maybe a bit brighter, but a lot.
I have a question.
Yes.
What if we find, maybe some people don't think it's bright enough? Is it possible to upgrade the wattage or usage of the light bulb?
You can't really, you can go to T5s, but then you have to change out the entire fixture. In many cases, we're not changing the fixture, we're changing inside of it, the working parts, which are called the ballast and the actual fluorescent. If you want to go and get it brighter even than that, you can go down to a T5. It's more cost prohibitive and they have to change out the whole fixture. In the case you want it brighter in your own personal residence, what I would suggest is going with a high lumen level fluorescent bulb and putting that in tabletop lamp, maybe a lamp that casts up a bit more into the ceiling. That's what I would suggest. You want to look for, on the box of a light bulb, it'll tell you the lumen level. You want to go for the highest lumen level. A neat thing about fluorescent light bulbs is you can put one in a tabletop fixture, a tabletop lamp. That lamp might be rated for 60-watt light bulb, but a compact fluorescent equivalent only uses about 13 watts. So you can use an equivalent light bulb that's a 100-watt equivalent. Still is only going to use 25 watts. So you're still under that wattage rating for the light bulb, so you get even brighter with a compact fluorescent than you can with a normal, everyday incandescent.
How about the circular that takes regular light bulbs that's over in our living room, the dining room area? You
We'll be
replacing that?
replacing those with a compact fluorescent,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Good. I have one in my apartment right now in my living room that doesn't throw out very much light.
The compact fluorescent?
Yep.
You can go up in your, if you look at that bulb, I bet it's probably a 13-watt. And when you heard earlier about the daylighting, you can get, those daylighting compact fluorescent bulbs will blind you. You can get them so bright. So bright. And so if you look for a cool or daylight fluorescent light bulb. They sell them everywhere.
Well, this is one
And then
that
get,
Housen put in.
okay. And if that's the case, maybe that's something we can look at doing daylight light bulbs or what have you, or even having a stock so Dave can maybe change them out if somebody's
I can hardly see, with just that.
just use a higher wattage light bulb. If
Is
it's
this in the kitchen or the living room?
Living room.
Should be a circular.
Yeah, it is a circular.
You told her it was the other.
It's a round light, but it's got
pictures or something.
a
Round fluorescent?
no, it's not a round.
Okay.
It's almost like U-shaped.
Well, I just put in a work order and take a look at it.
Any more questions? That's a lot about what we're doing here. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it, part of this actual combo.
I just had some general questions.
Please.
I noticed that in Warcourt and in Ledgewood, you're putting meters on the houses. And then there's also what is called an allowance.
It's called the Owner's Contingency Fund.
Now, does this mean that the tenant's going to pay their bill and he's going to get like a kickback from the authority? Or? They're going to pay their bill.
They're gonna pay their own
This
bill.
means they're going to have to start paying their bill and you're out of the utility business for those two sites. Now, Ledgewood already has some metering in place that we're going to take advantage of some of the lines there. But we're going to, they're going to replace transformers. We're going to, the owner's contingency, it's a sizable chunk. We left it that way because we knew this was going to be an expensive project to meter, and mainly because of Ledgewood, because it is on a ledge, so we have to dig down in order to bury the lines, and it's a humdinger of a project. Yes, but we understood that sub-metering out is something you want to go for, so that's what we're going to get accomplished underneath of that. And you probably wouldn't have the capital to do that normally, huh?
No.
It's an expensive endeavor,
No.
but then you'll be out of the utility.
The payback is quick then.
It'll be nice.
Question.
Now, there's another thing here that you said, there's a guaranteed realization, no risk.
Yes. We guarantee the savings.
You guarantee the
We
savings.
guarantee that you're going to be able
So
to.
if we go overboard,
I
you
write
send us a check.
I write you a check.
Yeah,
What's your name?
okay.
Yeah, we write the housing authority a check to cover the difference.
So all the costs are put up,
All the
upfront by you guys, and then we pay you back on a monthly basis?
You're gonna get a loan for the cost.
We get the
Municipal
loan.
tax-free municipal lease purchase, it's your tax-exempt entity, and that's what loan you'll be getting. We're getting ready to start that process. Now,
And we pay that loan back?
You pay the loan back. We guarantee you that your utility savings is going to pay for that. And we have to do, we do, in the first year, we do twice yearly monitoring, but after that, we do a yearly monitoring and true-up with HUD. We have to prove to HUD that we're actually saving you money that we said we were going to improve to you. You actually have to produce a report to send to HUD. We produce that for you, so it's sent on to HUD.
We've got two questions about
Are you talking about the meters?
The meters, yes. Meters will not change here. Only at the family sites will they be metered now.
Oh, I see.
Like
I
Maury
didn't
Court
understand
and,
what you were saying.
Does that mean on top of the rent, they gotta pay for the meters?
There's a complicated way that rent's all figured out and all that. So
So does their rent go up, or does the meter go up, they have to pay separate, or both?
they'll have to pay electric from now on at those two sites.
Yes.
But the rent, I think, will go down as
The
a
rent
result
is
of that.
adjusted
For
to take into consideration that
They
it's now a tenant
yes,
paid
they're not getting the
utility.
subsidy that they
So
normally
they
did
do
before.
get somewhat of a subsidy.
They do, but
Yeah.
not as, yes, they do get a subsidy, but it's.
Well, the
Yeah.
rent is adjusted in consideration of the fact that the tenant is now
Yeah,
responsible
yeah.
for
Yes.
utilities. And there's a utility allowance set up similar to that under the Section 8 program. And then that's deducted from the rent.
So, is there gonna be less rent or gonna be more rent?
Generally, there should be less rent, but tenants will be responsible for their electric bill.
Be responsible.
We're gonna have a lot of problems.
Really?
Now, who
No, Burlington switched all of its properties to all meters.
It's very
And nobody
common.
complained about it.
Well, they complained, but it's permissible, and they did it.
Yes, Bob?
who will we pay that to? See, who that will
You're not, Bob. You're not paying your electric bill here.
Here. It doesn't belong, it is not here.
This is not here.
Oh,
This is
Tenants at the high rise will not be affected by
Right.
individual metering at all.
No, I referring to Ledgewood and Boardwalk.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's not here. So you will not be affected by the metering. That's only in 2 developments. Okay?
I noticed that you rejected the idea of window quilts.
We didn't reject it, actually. It's still, we're keeping it, and I actually talked to Fraser again about this. He investigated it with the owner of the window quilts, and the distributor and the supplier, he said. We got pricing on it. It's not something that we built into the program, but we're maybe gonna look to the housing authority to use up excess owner's contingency dollars. Because we don't have the actual cost from Central Vermont yet. We're still, and I need to talk to Sandy again, bang on her door.
Yeah.
We don't have actual costs from them yet, so we don't know exactly how much the owner's contingency. I think it was somewhere around $28,000 for the cost for the window coats for this.
So that's still a possibility.
It's a very real possibility. It's not that
I
much.
know they're made here, and I think they're a wonderful invention.
Yeah, and we like to use them, and from day one. I think did I talk to you about it?
I don't think you
No,
did.
someone did, and we investigated it, and we've got a quote and everything. We're ready to roll on that if we're able to put. It's not underneath this program. We have to do things that save energy or water, and we have to be able to prove that through calculations. We don't necessarily have calculations for window quotes. We try and do that maybe under owner's contingency funds, and that's where we're going to.
Another general question. It looks like you haven't decided to change the heating yet.
Not in here.
Not here, which isn't going to affect us, but
And one of the things that was a priority we found was the metering issue. We've actually talked about, we don't want to drop the idea of doing it entirely. We've talked about maybe coming back and doing a phase 2 where we're able to tackle that. Maybe we're getting some excess savings that we're able to recapture and pour back into that. So it's not something that's off the table forever. It's something we like to revisit.
And finally, one thing, I know you did it here to test me. On Schedule C, page 1 of 3, there's a typo.
Oh, there's a typo.
You refer to the Franklin Housing Authority. I don't think so.
Oh, no, did I? Well, actually, that's great. Sure, I'm blaming my engineer for that. Schedule C.
Oh, engineer.
You can't trust him for that stuff. All right, I'm sorry. Schedule C, I don't have it to
Page 1 of 3.
Page 1 of 3. Page 3. Schedule C. Okay.
Well, I want to say that, I'm really impressed with the professionalism that you put into this. And,
Thank you.
there's been a lot of changes in technology since this place was built.
Yes, there has.
And you're really taking advantage of what's out there.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I think Chris and the staff wanted to do all along, is to do all these upgrades. But where do you get all the capital, especially to do it all at one time? You got to piecemeal it out, a toilet here, a shower there, and it just takes forever. It's really a nice program to bang it all out. Did you?
Yes, my impression is that you are providing the technical changes and the training to enable all of the residents to contribute to the saving this money. So it's not just that we're suddenly coming in and saving the money. We're really working with all of you to figure out how to make this work. And it's going to take everybody learning new ways of doing things.
Absolutely. And it does, it's a real partnership between the authority and the residents, because we can put in the most energy efficient or water efficient toilet, and if you just sit there and flush it all day, it's not going to be as effective. So, I mean, it's really, and you know what, to be very honest with you, and in the setting that we're dealing with, elderly folks, and it's much easier because you're not as wasteful.
I know.
So much easier. I mean, I can.
Toilets up there to McDonald's that you don't have to flush.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, my dad's 80, and I grew up with thing was, turn off every light, turn on, and don't leave the TV on, and get out of the shower and all that. My husband, his parents come from a younger generation, and every light in the house is on and the TV's on. Can you imagine the fright that my husband and I have on a daily basis?
Well, I was brought up like that. I always turn my lights off.
Yes, you're not to be wasteful.
They reduced the water in the toilet. That's what it was. Before, one flush would do it.
Right.
You have to flush the toilet.
Right, and even the toilets that my builder put in my house were just the same way. These toilets, they really flush.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to. They get it out. They get it done in one flush. And I mean, can't you? Did you try out the toilets that we sent us?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you should.
I didn't.
Whoosh! I mean, that goes down. You're not having to flush twice.
Well, that's
He
how
has-
people like goes in the public places here. They go.
It's a little bit different than that. You're going to have a trap in your toilet. Don't try and flush a teddy bear down it, but you probably could. I mean, it's going to be big. It's going to take quite a bit to close.
And don't stick your arm in there until you flush it. Because you're like,
He has a toilet, I think, already. One flush and just like that. Is it based on that? And he's the only one I've seen have one.
I do?
Yes. That handicapped apartment you've got has the only toilet I've seen that out it goes and that's it.
Well, you got one of special toilets.
I don't know. I ain't going to stick my hand down there and find out.
Oh, come on, kid.
The time span,
Yes.
that the initial work and the expectation that they will be fully paid off. 12 years, 19 years, I've seen various things.
This project, we're going out for the full term allotment, which is 19 years. That allows us to go up to 20 years. When you go up to 20 years, your interest rate spikes. So we keep it under 19. You might get, like we were just talking about, excess savings. We build in a certain level of conservatism. We don't have the escalation rate how high it really will go up. We build in a 3% escalation rate for utilities. Most likely will go up quite a bit more than that over the next 20 years. You gain some excess savings. You may even be able to pay it off sooner than that. That is an option that other authorities have taken. Or you can go through a phase 2, and it can just be an ongoing partnership, so you can keep getting, like you said, the technology has improved over the years. Even from 5 years ago, the technology has improved greatly. The next generation of LEDs, or light emitting diode lights, are coming around, and they're really made big strides. And the amount of energy that they save, even in comparison to the new linear tube fluorescents, is worlds apart. Energy Star refrigerators that were built 5-6 years ago, they're 30% more efficient than ones they're building today, and they're still Energy Star. So the technology continues to improve. The Energy Star refrigerators from maybe 5 years ago, the ones today are 30% more efficient Energy Star refrigerators. So the technology continues to improve. So there could be an opportunity that we could come back and do another phase and keep making things more efficient without having to use capital funds. So you guys can save your capital funds for others.
Are there other questions?
Now, you said if somebody's got a handheld shower head, they will be replacing.
With a handheld shower head, you're going to be getting another handheld shower head. All throughout this complex, you'll be getting 88 toilets. Throughout the complex.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So where we are is that we've now submitted everything to HUD, and I'm going to give a little nudge to our facilities person. This is now, it goes to a Washington office for review, and these folks know the reviewers, so they know what they're looking for and who to call. And we'll try to keep moving our application along. There are, I think Burlington is the other housing authority in the state that's working on this project. And so it'll be, if we can move it along and get it going, I think it'll encourage other housing authorities in the state to tackle. And it's always been something that we've looked at and said, oh, it's just not going to work, and it's too big, and we'll never get to cash and the energy to connect. So,
yes.
Does this mean you need all the HUD and housing approval before you can get it done here?
Yes. We need to get HUD approval of our...
Of all the sites in the state?
No.
Just here.
No. We've sent HUD these books that Jen's company has done. This covers our project for Brattleboro Housing Authority. This is what we need approved.
But when you talk about Burlington...
They're starting this
They're
process.
starting this, okay.
Yeah, and they're separate.
That's separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Good.
But my point is that once a couple of the housing authorities in the state go through this, then it will encourage the other housing authorities to take this on, and that's good.
Yes, that's good.
Because the housing authorities have really needed a way to address energy efficiency.
Good.
That was my
Okay. Good.
So we really appreciate Jen flew down here just to be with you. Flew up
From the south, thank you very much.
Yes, got out of her car.
So you didn't get much of a change then, did you?
But we wanted to give you an idea what energy efficiency really is about.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Well, it's really helpful that your company specializes in small housing, small and medium.
Prefer it if you want to know the truth. I mean, you're going to make more money on a big housing authority, but the amount of red tape, and we don't generally meet with their boards. We don't even ever see the EDs. And that's just, it's much better when everybody's involved and everybody comes to the table and we can hear what all the needs are so we can build the best program we can. We enjoy it. It's a lot more laid back too. A lot less suits. And,
How long would it take to get the approval to get this done, do you think?
Well, that's what
We
Jen
don't
was
know.
saying, you know.
Wait, this is the stage that we have no control over, and we try to as much as possible. We keep an open dialogue with HUD, and you just never know what you're going to get. And we'd like it to be only 2 months. It's been 2 months for other projects that we've had, but we'll see.
Do you need petitions for us to sign? Go ahead.
Thank you. I'll
We might
suggest
take up on it.
that might be happening.
Because I'll gladly sign it and say, you know, we need it, we have these problems, please sign it.
That'd be great.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
That not only the housing authority but the residents want to get this help too, because there's been a lot of infighting we found in HUD, and we just don't know what we're going to get when this starts to. Well, hopefully it's already started the approval process. We just don't know, and we've informed Chris and her staff, Mary and them, of what we could expect. We just don't know yet. We'll find out.
So we'll push.
Okay.
We'll be pushing because we want to do this.
You go get a petition started here.
Okay.
We'll get it
Give a
signed.
little Bernie Sanders.
Bob, you have a question?
When do you expect to start?
Start in about April, we hope. April.
They hope in April.
Yes. Maybe, probably not sooner, but probably, hopefully April.
Okay, yeah. Got another question. On the sliding door, are they going to those two?
Yes, Bob. We are going to put new ones in, and the draft issue that you've had should go away.
Yes.
No, I assume they'll probably be
Yes.
thermal glass.
Thermal glass,
Yeah.
called low emissivity glass as well. It's argon filled. It's filled with a gas, and I won't get into periodic table elements, but it's one of the ones on the left.
No, I'm not that
And
smart.
they insulate it.
Oh, great.
And they insulate
Are
it.
they also going to do the
'Cause I know people have
handicap apartments?
Yes. We're doing all the apartments.
Oh, okay.
That's also why we're looking at the window fills still, helping with a bit of that sun coming in. We're hoping that, one of the reasons why we want to get started in April and why we've been pushing it is to get all the things done here before the summer months with the windows.
Yeah,
Have a
'cause
lot of heat coming
There's a lot of people that put air conditioners in,
in. Yeah,
and they're probably wondering,
yeah, we wish we could fix everything here and like I said, maybe in phase 2 we'd be able to, so we might even be able to get, you know, I can't promise anything, but maybe long down the road, we might be able to get you central air. That's the hope that, you know. it just
I'll go
didn't
for
work
that.
I will
The
do.
key word was hope.
Yes, I heard
Okay? Hope. That is not in these books.
I know.
prayer on the side, but
I'll pray.
we'll see.
But what Jen just said, I hope you realize that when you all came and visited with the board this summer about the conditions in the building,
Yeah.
that all got translated to her company, and her folks and Jen have listened very carefully to the things that we have said, having heard them from you all. So, you know, I think that's good. You came, you told us what was going wrong, and we've got a very good company that is really listening. So, you should feel good about that.
Oh, yes. There.
There.
Anything else?
Thank you very much, Jen.
You're welcome.
I think that's it.
You got some
Are
good.
you getting on a plane?
No, I'm not kidding. No, I'm going to the hotel.
Okay.
Okay, call me.
Thank you.
If you have any additional questions. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice.
It's not
as bad. I got out of the car and I thought, it's not as cold as Sandy was saying, and then I started to walk in like,
We've been here this morning.
Yeah.
all right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, Jen.
Enjoy your trip.
Yeah, have a good trip back.
Sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Got a lot of good things happening.
Oh, I can't wait.
Leads us right into the comments of your place right here. Now, what do you have comments to us?
About that
No,
situation?
no,
About anything?
in general. Anything that you have as far as open comments from you guys.
Okay. You go first.
I've been, Mary, I've been working with the fire department on these doors coming to the community room here, and he's got a few suggestions on what to do about it. There's been conversation about a push-button system, like downstairs, on the door downstairs, to have, one door one door open. There's also been a conversation about the door holders that are on the fire doors, to hold them, keep them open, and in case of a fire, they automatically shut. What do you people think?
May I add to that? The reason why we were talking about that is we can go out the door with our feet opening it up, but coming in, it's difficult to hold the door and manage your door to come in. So we were thinking if only one door, you don't need both of them, just one door had a push button to either open it, or one door has the magnet to keep it open unless there's a fire. Of course, when there's a fire, all the magnetic doors shut. Something for, so both ways. Getting out is fine, getting in is hard.
And especially since one of these doors has been broken at least 4 times that I know of, because it's hard to get through here. Just make it a lot easier for somebody who's in a wheelchair, or even somebody carrying something.
Who have you spoke with?
I spoke to Peter Lynch. Em and I have been working on this for, I'd say probably almost 6 months now.
And
We haven't heard from him,
You haven't heard from him?
not that I'm aware of.
all right, Michelle came to our meeting at the, was it the, not the BCIL,
The ADA.
the ADA meeting, the American Disability Act. And we brought it up there, and we didn't know if Michelle mentioned it at all to housing.
She could have mentioned it to Sandy, and I don't know.
Okay. Because we were trying to get a little bit more access here for the disability, instead of being difficult to get through.
Okay, that's fine, and I'm glad you're talking to Peter Lynch. He's a good guy, good man.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
And I also know Mike. He went to school with Mike. I went to school with Mike.
all right.
So I know both of them good.
Mike Wakasi?
Wakasi,
Yeah. Okay.
And this is another reason why I brought up the downstairs door, because that's been a problem too. People, scraping their arms up and getting bruised up, along with these doors here. It's
A little too snug.
see, when they made this building, I don't think they were thinking, that eventually there might be people in wheelchairs, moving into this building. And of course, it was made back in 1982, so,
And I think that's before you had
yeah,
wheelchairs of substance back then.
Yeah.
They were just little things
Yeah.
that you wheeled along.
yeah.
Anything else that you can think of?
Well, we talked about the wash machine, that's solved, and we talked about the doors. That's about it, I think. Is there anything else? Did anybody else have a problem?
We had a note on that as far as commissioners go over here, a note that we had on as far as following up on previous comments. You see, the dates you had, and several of those were on Samuel Elliott too, actually.
Yes. Do you have other comments from the past for Samuel Elliott?
It was the energy and air circulation issues. That were on here from here.
Just to let you know, probably costing you a lot. That thing's been constantly running, and it hasn't been going high enough. It stays at 72 at that thermostat, and even at 72, this is an open area, and there are times when people are chilly here. And it should be high enough so where it shuts off, but it's not. It's staying constantly running. So just let you know it's not going off because it's cold up here and it doesn't keep that temperature. It's an open area going down there.
Okay. So, nothing else that comes right to mind to you folks?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you fix anything in the kitchen, like a stove unit and stuff in the kitchen? Does housing take care of that? All right, then I'll bring that up later and let
Call in a work
Call in a
order
work order.
tomorrow. Yep.
I just didn't know.
Yeah, call in a work order.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you.
We'll move along here and we'll get on to the staff reports. Asset manager, property improvements and repairs. Sandy's report that you saw in,
Excuse me.
yes, excuse me.
May I say one thing?
Sure.
When Sandy and the boys checked the apartment, I asked Sandy, being my wife died, I asked Sandy if they could take that stroke myself.
Yes, we have it. We have it on the list of things to get to.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
yep, yep.
And on Sandy's report here that you had in your agenda, anybody have any questions on any of the inspections here in Samuel Elliott, Hayes Court, annual inspections down there? The overall, as far as Petco goes, we'll work this evening. And the Annie Richards building up 1063 of West B.
I'm just impressed that you're working on the recycling efforts with Moscaler and Cindy Sterling, because one of the concerns for the town has been the low level of recycling. So just as we're trying to provide some technical assistance to save water and electricity, they will be able to help increase the level of recycling here and in all of the other sites. And this really is a partnership. We'll try to make it easy but it's going to take changes in habits for all of us, me included.
Yeah, the recycling is gonna be, is tough. It's really tough. I'll get a update tomorrow and make sure that it's intact.
Are we coming along very well as far as commercial properties go?
We're really having trouble renting. We've got a couple of people that have expressed interest, but it's a difficult market.
Tough all around.
Yeah.
Saw
A lot of empty spaces in town.
saw the ad in the Reformer, my wife saw it, remarked on it too. She said, that's still not rented? I said, yeah, it's been difficult.
Yeah. It's commercial space in the Richards building. If I could just let you know, we did get our public housing assessment system score for the year. And it went down a little, but we are still a high performer, which is really excellent. So that's really great.
Down
Is
a
that the
little.
fire inspection that went through?
No, this is when the HUD inspector comes through.
Was that last year's?
This is for this year.
They didn't go through already, didn't they?
No, this is, well, it's a HUD year that we're
Oh.
dealing with.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's for now,
okay,
until they decide that they're gonna release another one.
okay.
Many things are different when you're dealing with Washington.
The monthly property update for the property manager, that's the blue sheet of paper that each of you received. Do you have any questions on that? Or?
Yeah, what's the SEA recertification?
Oh, well, that's the annual recertification of each resident's income and,
Oh, okay, okay,
Information.
yeah. We did that.
yeah, probably.
And now the resident service coordinators report, the pink sheet you had. Anybody have any questions on that? That's made up. Gives us an update, what's happening there. Chris, you have anything you want to add?
I would just add that the two grants for family self-sufficiency programs, one in Section 8 and one in public housing, have been submitted, and we are now in the process of working with the grant writer for the resident services coordinator grant for public housing. See how we fare.
And then the Section 8, Shelter Plus Care and Pathways on the purple sheet.
I'd like a definition, if possible, of talking about the project-based vouchers. I will soon be releasing the RFP for 5 project-based units co-op, so that the layering review process can begin. The layering review is puzzling me.
The layering review is a review that looks at all the sources of subsidy that are going into a building to make sure that no unit is double subsidized.
That's helpful.
Yeah. On Shelter Plus Care, great news. We had David was successful in getting our grant renewed. The renewal amount is almost $15,000 more than last year. So we will be able to add at least 2 more participants to Shelter Plus Care.
Good news.
Great.
just in passing say that I found it refreshing or something that going back to the project-based vouchers, that they're going in for the review, and the building that they will be attached to is still, it's just past, well, still in the excavation stage. So we're forward-looking, which is good.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, that's what we wanted to do is to, and in the future, we'd love to have the project-based vouchers approved and ready to go before the building is finished.
Yeah. Because that building right now, the Richards building, probably will do better fully rented than it will be standing partially vacant.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And it's a perfect place for people who can't afford to
Yeah.
be other places.
And then just an update on the programs that we already have in progress. Hayes Court. Anything the new report on that?
Hayes Court, we have, Mary and I have had 3 fairly extensive discussions with Housing Vermont, who's our development partner, and the HUD specialist that they have brought in to work on the project. Right now, what we're really focused on is making sure that we can get the finances to fund the entire development. And that's the architectural piece. Everything is a little bit on hold until we're sure that we're going in to use 2 HUD programs. One is called the Capital Fund Financing Program, which involves a bond, I believe, that will have to come, we're hoping will be through VHFA, and we obligate going forward 1/3 of our capital fund for a number of years, and then in return we get a bond. And then there's another piece of it which is called the Housing Replacement Factor Funding, which is another part of the funding issue, and that's another piece that we need to know that we can get that and start banking those funds in anticipation of having vacant units while pending the redevelopment. So we're at that point, and it's slow and very tedious, and we're pushing away at it. We also have to have a total cost replacement analysis done, and the HUD consultant has a firm that is very good at doing those and does them all the time, and that's a very complicated number crunching kind of thing that they will need to do, looking at Hayes Court versus a lot of the HUD required development dollars. So HUD tells you what it should cost, what it's going to cost you to develop a unit. Please, we know what it costs. But you have to use the HUD numbers, and so that is also just started. That's
So
gonna
this
be
is
another
actually
big
the
piece.
start for the assisted living.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
assuming what you're talking about.
Yep.
So that's like a work in progress.
It is.
It'll be on our plate for several more meetings.
Yeah.
And support and service at home.
Well,
Care partnership, SASH.
yes, SASH has been renamed Support and Services at Home, a care partnership, in response to folks like us and the Rutland Housing Authority and our nonprofit partners who said it's not just for elderly people, it's for anybody that is Medicare eligible, and that can be non-elderly disabled folks. So we have changed, the name of the program has been changed, the gist of the program has not been changed, and in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think we're going to have another meeting of our local table. Those are all the partners that we're bringing in. So that'll be good, and we're working on the details and, you know, at the state level, they're working on how do we roll out the whole blueprint and then this piece of it.
Vacancies, the green sheets that you have right here are the Brattleboro Housing Authority's vacancies for our complexes. Looks pretty darn good. You can see here.
I want to just point out that at Hayes, if you look at this sheet, which is the current vacancies, and also at the this sheet, which is the total for the year, if you look at Hayes, not surprisingly, the vast majority of our vacancies are the second floor efficiencies. And at Hayes, we now have, we've gone into 100 days of one of the second floor efficiencies being open. So Heidi and Kim have done a remarkable job, and Sandy and the whole team, in really ratcheting down our turnover times. I think it's interesting, I wanted to point out to you that this just says again that those second floor efficiencies in Hayes are really a marketing nightmare. And they're so good at filling apartments that now, you know, before, back in the old days, I would say to Bill, well, some of it's the buildings and some of it's us and our internal systems. They're just not as good as they need to be. But now, I can assure you, it is not us. The internal systems are excellent for turnover. This is a direct reflection of the property.
Is this basically because people don't want these apartments?
Yes. Second floor efficiency.
If someone who was on a list, way down on the list, wanted one, could they be moved up?
They probably will get offered it, yes. A lot of people turn them down.
Turn them down.
I think Hayes are the only ones I don't know the apartments, so this may be a dumb question. Is there any way to retrofit an elevator into any of those buildings?
Funny you should ask.
I was going to ask
There
that
was
same
a-
question. I was gonna
We
ask
have done that.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
have
we
done
have.
that in, I think, 3 or 4 buildings. We put in these, they're called Lula lifts. They're little lifts, and they've worked quite well. Just recently, the Vermont Elevator Board ruled that any lift in a public space, in a public building, had to accommodate a gurney and at least 2 EMTs.
Oh, yeah.
So, we cannot do this at Hayes Court anymore. This will take the cost, it will cost us about $40 for the lift, and by the time we redo the whole lobby, up and down, and we put this nice little lift in, and it costs about $90,000 when we're done. I can't tell you what it would cost us to try to put it in. We have never been able to come up with a successful design for an elevator at Hayes Court, given that the pods are together, but they're not connected at all internally. So it's just an architectural nightmare to try to do it. So we would end up having to put in 9 exterior elevators.
And big elevators.
Very large,
Yes.
very large. And so they have to go up above the roof line as well. So this ruling has been, it's just not good for many of us. And the other day at the Vermont Housing Conservation Board, a nonprofit came in, beautiful building, great project. They're going to put in a Lula, and I looked at them and I said, you know what? You better check with the elevator board. And the developer on our board said, nope, they won't allow them anymore. So, yeah, we thought they were great.
They wouldn't even grandfather them.
No, not even grandfather.
So,
It takes, I think, an act of God to get anything, any waivers from the elevator board. I just,
because that ambulance needs to go up the elevator with a gurney.
yes, that's a ruling. All elevators in public spaces have to accommodate a gurney and two people.
Well, how bad is the stairs going up one flight? I've never been there.
Well, it's one flight of stairs, and it's not that bad, but if you have trouble with mobility, it's hard. You know, they're just stairs, but stairs can be very difficult. And if you're bringing in groceries and your laundry
Well, I
and
was
everything
thinking
else.
the gurneys. If they're just thinking of the fire department or the ambulance going up with a gurney up the stairs and coming down, aren't they professional enough to go up one flight of stairs and down when there's no elevator?
you're entirely
make
too
it do what
reasonable.
says.
You would have thought so.
First of all, from somebody who knows, I used to be on rescue. And believe me, one flight of stairs, and you're looking at a guy the size of Marshall
Right.
up and down that flight of stairs, you're going to need a lot of help. And you can't always get a lot of help. So, therefore, this thing, oh yeah, it's easy.
Oh, wait a minute. When I told the ER when Francis was on the floor to come and get him, but they're gonna need a lot more people, they came with 6 guys to help my brother off the floor. 6.
Well,
Okay?
got lucky.
So if you tell the fire department the Pearson is heavy and you need help, they're gonna have 6 guys there helping.
But this is statewide, so it might not have always happened during the state, so that's why they made the.
I think that's a shame.
I do too.
We agree.
Yeah.
Yes. We agree.
Particularly if you amortize our costs over the number of years that we actually have them.
So because you can't fit a gurney, you can't use the elevators.
No, we can't put new ones in.
Or you can't put new ones in.
So we have 3 or 4.
Well, what's the weight limit, Chris, on them? Do you know?
I don't. They're really made for one person. They're not even, I mean, a chair couldn't really make it in them.
Oh, really?
No, they're really a personal, individual lift.
Oh.
Would they, there's a kind of thing, because a friend of mine has one, it goes up this stairway.
Oh, yes.
The chairs.
They won't let you do them either?
No.
Because he just sits down on it and it goes up.
Those don't meet the ADA, and they're really not satisfactory. We have one in our church, and it really is not satisfactory.
That could have been better than nothing at all.
Yeah, but they're not ADA compatible, and they're really difficult to use. And I actually think they're sort of dangerous on public stairs.
You have to be able to transfer in and out more easily.
If you, has anybody been to St. Michael's School, Catholic school, in their basement, in their cafeteria? They have a lift there, and it holds, well, he doesn't want us to use the power chairs anymore, but it holds a person with a power chair, and it just goes from the stage down to the ground in their basement of the high school. I don't know how much it costs, but no, it doesn't hold a gurney, but
We wouldn't be able to.
No, we couldn't use them.
could use
We
it.
could not use them, no. And in fact, if they go to do substantial renovations in their building, they probably will be made to put in a full elevator. Because St. Michael's Episcopal is going to, we hope, be doing some major renovations. And originally, the architect had the smaller lift in. And I said, gee, I think you better call the elevator board. I've heard this thing. He called and found out, yes, in fact, he has to design an elevator that will fit a gurney.
This is St. Michael's Catholic.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
It's not pretty out there sometimes. All right.
These, we got a bunch of different tax things here. I was just wondering if comments on these are powers of attorney.
Well, these are the forms that, it was time to have our entire retirement program. It's for the retirement. And here is the whole thing, which it's like 90-something pages, and I didn't think anybody really wanted to read through this. 88 pages. What the attorney has done is incorporated all of the changes that have been required, that we have been doing, but it's time to restate the whole document. And as part of that, once adopted by you, we will then submit it to the IRS for approval, which is one thing that's very important to have that approval on our retirement. So I sent you these so that you would see what what will be submitted to the IRS, and it's this document. And if you really do want a copy of the whole retirement restatement, I can give it to you. Mary's read some of it and found it really exciting, and I'm going to go through it too. So what I need is for you to adopt the amended and restated pension trust plan.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And,
I have about 4 minutes
okay.
left on.
Yeah. The Hague Life Insurance, I sent you this. If you are interested in signing up, please fill this out and give it to me tonight so we can get this in. It's free, and it's just a very small term benefit. And we're sending in everybody's information again because it's been a while since we've done it. So. And on the MOU with the Boys and Girls Club, I just got it Friday, and I can send it down. It's very straightforward. It really, in terms of the program, just says exactly what we're doing, and has the indemnity language that we are required to have in a contract. So if you want to take a look at that, and if you're comfortable, you can either approve it or give me permission to execute it once the Boys and Girls Club is finished reviewing it as well.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion or further discussion? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great. Opposed? Motion carries. And we're now at the financial reviews. Mary, anything for the good of the order there?
Well, you have the checklisting. The A.W. Richards audit went very smoothly last week. Housing Vermont, our partner in the project, contracts with the auditor, and they hired Otis Atwell, which is a firm from Maine that has a lot of experience with tax credit projects. Woman was here for a day and had some questions she had to finish up with Housing Vermont because it's the first year, and so they have to certify the cost of the project. And I haven't heard from her since, so that's as it should be.
Good job, Mary.
Yes.
Mary put a lot of work into getting ready for that audit.
Next year will be much smoother.
The check signing,
I'll do February.
okay.
Well, I don't know.
I'll go March.
I don't know either,
March.
that's my problem.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm
Missing
stuck
Jeannie.
here for February.
Ah. Tell her you said that.
Who's doing March?
Marshall, he
Marshall's
misses
does
Jeannie.
it.
Okay.
We're gonna have the pirate do February.
Yeah. April is going to be, I will try, but there'll be 3 Fridays in April I wouldn't be able to do it. That's why I was going to volunteer for
Well,
February.
then,
So,
I don't think you should do April.
If you really want to, you can have March, and I'll take it.
I have 1 Friday in March I need to exchange with you. I'd like to take March.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't fly, so that's why I have to be here for February. Otherwise, I'd be in Florida in
So we're
February.
in for a good chase.
March is
Okay.
Janet.
So we have
March.
February Chris, March Janet, except for 1 Friday, and April will be March. And Marshall will see Jeannie that one
Probably.
Friday in March.
Marshall, if I can't make it Friday, I will call you first, okay?
Yeah.
Janet runs into a problem.
Yeah.
I'm up the road, so just give me a call if you have a
Oh, and the last bit of news is that we did hire a new support staff, answering the phone and greeting people at the door, Chelsea Nunzi.
Nunez.
Nu-
Nunez?
Nunez? Is that right?
Yeah.
Nunez?
Yes.
Ah. Okay, well, massacre that name. Chelsea.
There we go.
Chelsea, right.
And she has started and is doing quite well.
No, I asked her.
Ah,
Is there any other business come before the meeting?
Move we adjourn.
Motion's been
I'll
made.
move it, second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? None, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you very much,
Thank you.
folks.
Good.